I mean, that's cliche, but it's something.
Well,
rather
Zavala
than just
was freaking out.
Zavala's just like, no, don't do it.
What do you think you're doing?
And then we did it anyway.
What have we done?
So far, it's been tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that, like, after 340, that grind's starting to get a little brutal. I don't know. Oh, hey,
Hello.
Ted.
Yeah, no, the grind is real. I had those same 30-minute heroic strikes last night. I think it's just like they're kind of catering to the hardcore again. I feel like they kind of went to like general population when Destiny 2 came out, and then now they're like, well, you know, the only people really still playing our game, I feel like, are the hardcore. So we might as well try to appease them. And then come September, maybe that's when we're like, hey, everyone, you should play Destiny.
I do wish there was something more in the middle, though, because, like, the actual story is super, like, accessible, and I hadn't played in forever, and I went from 310 to 337, like, in 2 hours. But then after that, there's this steep drop off of, oh, this public event is 380, or this heroic strike is 30 minutes long. Like, there needs to be a little more of a gap. That's been Destiny 2's problem for me.
To be fair, they're tackling it this time around. I know Tay and I had some conversations about Tay. Ever since Destiny 2 launched, Tay's crew was doing raids and I was getting all the benefits of it. And that felt a little bit weird. They were so afraid to offend casual players. Like, you're not as good as Tay, but honestly, Tay's better than me at this game. And he raids and I don't. And like, any mechanic that allows Tay to do something that I can't is cool. And it's okay for a casual player to walk in and see what a hardcore player has and be impressed by it. So it's nice. It feels like it's a little bit tougher this time around.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be harder for the casual players this time around, I feel like. Only because it's like, okay, you have a story. It takes about 90 minutes. It's like 4 missions or something like that.
It's super short.
Yeah, and like after that, it's like, I guess we're doing milestones? Because like there are some quests after that, you know, are a little bit more involved and they're more grindy. It's like, okay, I know Sleeper Simulant, which is like the really cool fusion, exists. Here's like a 6-part quest that you have to do, but like some of those parts of those quests are gonna be pretty time consuming, especially if you're playing solo, you know?
Yeah, you have like the hand cannon, you have to get precision shots, and that's just the first step.
Yeah, and then you have to kill powerful enemies, and then you have to find a sleeper node. There's like a lot of things that you have to do. And I kind of like it, but at the same time, it's weird to see them shift the balance, right? Like, it wasn't trying to find the middle ground for something for, you know, casuals and hardcore players. It's really kind of going back, like I said earlier, to shifting to the hardcore players. And I don't know, maybe that's good enough for now, but at least exotics are fun.
The exotics are really fun. They're really good. I like the Graviton Lance changes a lot, because I was like, I liked it before, but that like bigger explosion and like the thunk of it feels so good.
But there's a bunch of good ones, like Risk Runner's really good now.
Oh man, the Art Conductor's so much better.
Skyburner's Oath, there's actually a reason to use it now. I always thought that exotic was really good, but because everything is so much harder now, one of the really cool benefits of exotics being particularly useful is they have a reason for them. You were saying like Risk Runner gives you a lot of resilience to arc damage. So with these heroic strikes being so much tougher, bringing it back around, if you're ever fighting the Fallen, you have a reason to have Risk Runner, or if you're fighting Cabal, you have a reason to have Skyburners. It's really cool because the game is difficult again, and because the exotics are so much better, there's now a reason to just use them, rather than just run through everything and try and get to the end.
But I don't know, man. Like, I was joking before the game came out, or before the DLC came out, that I was like, oh, I'll be back for like a week or two, and I'm super excited again. And like, as I'm doing the grind, and as some of my friends that used to play more regularly aren't playing, it's like really tough to keep staying motivated, and it's only been a day. But then again, I'm playing it at a very like fast pace that most people probably wouldn't play at. So it's like, maybe if I took it more casually, all these things seem a little bit more interesting.
I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of the things that Destiny has been doing, like things that we've already burned through, but it's just like a different adventure. Like, I've done adventures. This is just one that's on a different part of Mars. Like, it's not like if you really liked those things, I think it's like, here, remember why you like Destiny, but wait for the really big changes. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel about Warmind. Is like, it's the House of Wolves of Destiny 2.
This time around, 2 of the strikes are just from the campaign again.
Yep, pretty much. There's one where you fight like a hive wizard. He's actually the son of Oryx, which is kind of cool. And the other one is the Worm God.
I do think the Worm God fight's pretty cool. I like that Worm God. He's freaky.
Yeah, I mean, I think the funny thing is, I think I read on Reddit too that like somebody was mentioning like, that's twice now, Bungie, that like you've made end story mission bosses, like the final boss of the story campaign, like not like raid like bosses, because they're like big grand spectacles almost, right? Like you're fighting Gaul on this huge ship, or you're fighting this giant worm that's like crashing into the ground. Why not make that like a raid moment, you know?
Yeah, I think the counter is that, I forget the percentage, but I remember them talking at the beginning when Destiny 2 was launching that like most players don't even experience the raid. So I do think it's like, oh, we're gonna save our big cinematic spectacle moments for something that most players will see.
I can't believe it. You did it! You took down a worm god!
It's really weird how much they stay away from consequences, which is what would get you attached to characters. And spoilers, you know, Rasputin wakes up and Anna has a 1 second where she's like, what did I do? And then literally 2 minutes later, she's saying to the player, don't worry about it. I'm sure it'll all be fine.
I know without a question that no matter what comes next, we can face it together.
You just destroying that conflict. It would be such a more interesting story if she was freaked out that she just woke up Rasputin.
Yeah, or like realized that her family that created him, or like created that research facility, like actually was evil.
Good thing I know a few tricks. At least that seems to run in the family.
I mean, that's cliche, but it's something.
Well,
rather than
Zavala
just
was freaking out.
Zavala's just like, no, don't do it.
What do you think you're doing?
And then we did it anyway.
What have we done?
Like, he doesn't, and then he was
That's
like,
true.
oh, okay. Like,
He's supposed to be like the head commander too, which is the kind of funny thing.
We've got this.
So the big question at the end of the day is, do you guys think this is enough to keep you happy until the next DLC?
A lot of it for me personally will be, can I get my raid group back together, even if it's for like once a week? Because like that was fun for me, right? Like I knew that like on this day it's like, all right, cool, we're all gonna jump on at 7, we're gonna play together. You know, Destiny was just kind of like the vehicle to get us to play a game together. And so if I can get them back, I think I'll be on it longer. But if they don't play, then how am I gonna do a raid layer outside of like trying to do a looking for group, or maybe trying to scrounge everyone in the office to do it? Or how am I gonna do escalation protocol, which is like a 380 power level
impossible
thing that, you know, I think in another week or two, it'll gradually get easier, but there's like 7 waves of that and people are struggling with the first wave, you know? So we'll see. For me, it's like more about, can I get my friends back into it? What about for you, Kelly?
For me, I mean, like, the thing I like most about Destiny is actually just the way the shooting feels. Like, it is my favorite, like, mechanically, my favorite shooting in games right now. And I think, like, updating the exotics, which is just, you know, part of the update, has been really cool. I loved playing around with them. Like, I'm really enjoying that. But, I don't know, I just feel like none of the carrots are really attractive to me. I don't know, I need something more. I need something like more transformative. It's like the hive, they're ice hive, they shatter when you kill them, but like, they're still hive. I mean, it's cliche, but I am waiting for the Taken King moment where it's like, oh, here's just a totally different dimension to this game that you didn't even know could be there. Like, I need more of that because it just feels the same except in the basin instead of in another area of what we've already had.
What about you, Aaron?
I'll pretty much play as long as you play. It's like you said, it's a social game. When there's people in the office to play with, I'll play. Otherwise, I'm probably gonna go finish God of War.
That's totally fair.